We've come to the final part of this beautiful tutorial series. We've created all the parts and done all the assembly. So now the only thing that's remaining is to just add some fine details to make our model look more presentable and more realistic. And we're going to prepare our model for keyshot rendering afterwards. So stick around. So you're going to open the class safety cover. We're going to start there. And we're also going to open the drawing file that we created when we were creating the crown. So there's drawing file. If you cannot locate it, I would advise you to go back to that tutorial and redraw this. But if you have it, let's just dive right into it. So here's an image of an actual Air King model. This is the oyster clasp. And as you can see, we have this raised part that we need to add. We have this groove and we have these writings which are engraved. As you can see here, they are engraved. And we have Geneva Swiss made. So we're going to make this. Let's start with the safety cover. Now this surface is where we need to make that sketch, but this surface is not planar. If you remember, we created this profile and then we swept it over a curved surface. So this surface is actually curved, but you can't see that because just a small part of it. And if we need to sketch on it, we have to create a plane here which is tangent to that surface at a particular point. And we're going to make a point in the middle. So I need us to switch to the generative shape design workbench so we can do that. And we're going to start by creating a point on surface, and you're going to select that surface. Create a point in the middle and select distance to be 0 right there and select OK. And then we're going to insert a plane tangent to the surface. This is the surface and at this point. And then select OK. Now you're going to hide the point. And then we're going to switch back to our part design module. Then right click on part body and defining work object so that now our new elements are going to fall in part body. Now select this plane and sketch. And now this is where we're going to paste that crown from drawing 1. So go back to drawing 1 and you're going to highlight everything. Right click and copy. Go back to the clasp cover. Hover over the plane and then paste. Then if you select fit all in, you can see where the new sketch is, and then you can just click on it and drag all the way close to where our object is. Obviously it's too large, so we need to scale that down. So you're going to select scale from transformation. Make sure the duplicate mode is deselected, otherwise you're going to end up with double of your sketches every time you perform a scale operation or a rotate operation. Now you're going to select a point where you want your new element to be, and you can scale that down. Say point, I'm going to go with 0.1. I can increase later on if I want. So you can see you can drag out and in to select your value, or you can come here and enter your value. In this case, just 0.1. Now let's zoom in. So this is the surface where we're going to put this crown. So I'm going to project this as a construction element so that we are able to see its boundaries. This is a construction element like so. And then I can now select the sketch and we're going to drag it out. So there's just a small portion of it which protrude outwards, and that is this half ellipse, but it's the only one that's going to be outside. And then there's a bit of distance left on all these sides. I actually think this is good enough for me. If it's not, please, you can use scale again to go up and down until you're satisfied with what you have, and then you can exit the workbench. Now I'm going to hide this plane. And then we're going to create a pad. The length is going to be 0.2, and this is going to be your sketch. And make sure you make sure the direction is going upwards, so not downwards, upwards. And then select OK. Now we need to create some edge fillet. So you're going to select all these 5 circles, or you can just first go to insert dress up features, select the fillet, and then you're going to select all these 5, not 3, all these 5 circles, and then you can start with point. We raised it 0.2, so we can go up to say 0.17 or 0.18 because we want them to appear rounded. 0.18, we're gonna go with radius, no quarter. Preview. Let's try that. And voila, we have that. If you're able to add more fillets, you can, because they need to look as rounded as possible. But you have to understand that this is quite a very small feature, so it might prove difficult to create those fillets. Let's try this one, these 2 sides. Let's say 0.01. Make that quarter length, and then trim ribbons. Preview. Select OK. If it can go 0.01, then there's no point in creating the fillets. Okay, we're just going to leave it as it is actually. Now, one thing to note is that there's not completely hollow, so it's like we have a pocket here. So we're going to select that sketch once again, sketch 8, copy and paste it once again in part body so that it comes here as sketch 9. Double click on it. You're going to highlight everything and make that to be construction element, and then select the ellipse and only make that to be a standard element. Then exit the workbench. Then you're going to create a pad, reverse the direction so it's going upwards, and then there's going to be 0.1 so that it appears like we have a small pocket. Nice. I'm actually going to leave it as that. If you're able to apply more fillets to these sharp edges, you can do that, but that's fine by me. So this is the part where you use to lift off this safety cover, and to separate it from the cover, as we saw when we were creating the assembly. Once we close, it's hard to see where what ends and what starts. So you're going to save your work. And then we're going to go to the next clasp cover. So you're going to File, Open, Clasp Cover. The job is pretty simple. We just need to select this face and sketch it. Select spline. You can zoom in. And then close to the end, you're just going to click right there and create a profile like so. Escape. I'm going to raise this so it's a little bit upwards. It's a little bit it doesn't reach this edge, so it goes a little bit higher than this edge, and you just need to make it as fine as possible. Hold on, I need to move this. All right, so this controls the depth, the curvature, so I can make it look like, say, up to that point. And then just exit the workbench, and we're going to groove that. using this V direction. So there's a sketch axis here, and you're going to select this V direction and groove it for 360 or 180, and then select OK. And you should have that groove where now that raised logo is going to sit, or so that you can have access when you're opening the safety cover. That's pretty simple. So for both of them, you're going to add some fillets to the sides. So insert edge fillets, and I'm just going to select, I'm not going to select this side, this corner. I'm just going to go with these bottom ones and the sides. The sides. And we're also going to select the front and the back. The side ones are the length, this corner is the only one we're not going to select. But all these other ones, just select. Make sure you're selecting the edges and you don't select any face. You can confirm that from this list of elements. All right, then we can try here 0.5. And hold on, I'm going to make this quarter length. Let's start with 0.1. 0.1, you can zoom in to see how much you filleting. 0.1, let me see 0.2. I'm going to go with 0.2 because they need to look rounded like that. We need smooth rounded edges. And we're going to do the same for the cover, safety cover. So save this. So for this one as well, we're going to do the same. So insert, select edge fillet, and then you're going to select once again all this front. That's a face. I'm going to undo that. Okay. You can fast forward this part if you want. So we got the front part. Let's select these edges at the bottom. Then go to the back and select these height edges. And all right, I'm going to go with those. So once again, it's 0.2. 0.2. You can zoom in to check. And then select OK. Let's try 0.15. I don't know if there's something I've said. Oh, let's select quarter length instead of radius. And tie that point 2 once again. I'm pretty sure I've selected the edges only. Don't know why it's not working out. So 1.15 quarter length. Okay, that's worked. 1.15 worked. And it's looking good. So save that. Now for the middle case, we have the word Rolex going all the way around. I don't know if I have an image of that. Let me check and pull it up. So I've got this image here, and this is what I'm talking about. We have this Rolex word just going all the way around the complete circumference. It's right above the dial, between the dial and the crystal gasket on the middle case. So let's do that. So we cannot find the exact font, but we can find one that is pretty much looks alike. So on this drawing, you're going to select text and then select a point, say about this point. All caps, you're going to write the word Rolex, enter. And then we need to change the font now to something which looks similar to that. So you're going to select Rockwell. You're going to select Rockwell True Type. And then you're going to save this as, save as an AutoCAD drawing. So you're going to select DXF and save. And now if you go to File and open this drawing one, you can see this now is an AutoCAD drawing interchange instead of CATIA drawing. So DXF, and if you open that, it should convert the word to a sketch. So we're going to zoom in here. And this is what we have. You can highlight this and try to move it. Oh, it's disappearing on me. I want to move it to the middle of the page so I don't have trouble finding it. So here it is. It's very, very tiny. I hope I will be able to find it. Okay, Rolex. So you're going to highlight that, copy, and then you're going to open middle case. Then you're going to show the initial axis system that we had, the first one. Select the ZY plane and sketch. I'm going to try and bring it right here in the middle so I can see the position pretty well. And then I'm going to paste. Then fit all in. You can see it here. I'm going to drag it all the way next to our geometry. Then you can zoom in. This is obviously too large, so we're going to scale that down. Scale it down. I'm going to select this point, 0.5, 0.2. I'm thinking about 0.3. 0.3, yeah, 0.3. And then I'm going to move it about this point right there. You can always come back and adjust that. So we're going to select this sketch and create a pocket. That's the direction. So our inner diameter was 34. That means the radius is 17. So we can make this 17.5. 17.5 preview. Select OK. So this is what we have. Now before we make this a pattern, we need first to check from the assembly if it's sitting above the dial, because it should sit above the dial. So you can go to File and open Assembly 1. And if you zoom in, you can see the word, and it should sit above the dial. So if you see it's too low, you can go to the sketch and bring it up a little bit. If you find it's too high, you can go back to sketch and drag it down a little bit until you find a position where it's sitting right above the dial. And this is the word. So this is okay. We don't need to save that in the meantime. And then we're going to now to create the circular pattern. So go to transformation features, select circular pattern. We're going to select a complete crown. 51 is it's a bit too much. You can start with 20, and then the object to pattern is going to be the pocket you just created. That was what, pocket 5. Object to pattern is pocket 5. Hold on. This pocket 5, yes. And then the reference element or the direction, the axis is going to be the Z axis. So before you save, you're going to zoom in, and it needs to blend in like it's a continuous word. So you can try increasing the number slightly. I don't know. That's 22. Let's try 21 first. Doesn't have to be all continuous. Oh, my machine doesn't feel like doing this. It's okay. So 21. Select OK. Select OK. And I think that's okay. Yep. Then you're just going to hide this axis system. And save your work. You can close this. Leave the drawing first. Oh, let's close this as well. Close the DXF. Select yes. Actually, no, I don't have to save this. Okay, let's save it. Let's save it. CATIA drawing 2, save. We can close this as well. We are done with this. The safety cover. So the last thing is the blade, the bottom blade. So we're going to open the class blade 1. This one, and we just need to make now that logo. We need to draw this. So we have the word Rolex, we have the crown. All we need is to make these curves right here, and then Geneva Swiss made. That's okay. So we need to bring in an image. So what you can do, you can search an image online, or you can work with, I don't know if I should attach this, or I have another one. Let me show you. So I think I'm going to attach this right here on YouTube so that you can download it and you can use this to just draw out these curves, the splines. So we have the word Rolex crown here. We have these curves. They are 1, 2, and 3. And then we have this in the middle. We can just mirror this along a vertical axis right here. So what I'm going to do, you're going to open the same drawing file. So we have this drawing1.dxf, the last one that we used. Okay, it has the crown and it has the word Rolex. But to draw on this, remember you draw on the CATIA drawing and then you save it as an AutoCAD drawing. Okay. Oops. Before I make any changes, I need to fix everything together because we don't have any constraints here. So I'm going to select this and then select fix so that everything doesn't move, right? And then we have this word. I'm going to move it up here first. Let's put it up there. Zoom in. And we're going to bring in an image. So insert picture. And then that picture that I just showed you, that's what you're going to attach it here from the desktop. Have this. I'm going to bring it right here. I can maybe make it smaller. So we need to make these curves. Okay, zoom in. I can place it on the side actually. It's going to be easier. Like that. It's starting from the side here. We make some curve. We're going to start with this top one here. You're going to select spline. And from this point, don't worry too much because you can always edit this thing. And you're just going to freestyle something close to what we are seeing. So I just need to trace it as close as possible to the original one. So if you hover over one of the points, make sure that only one point is selected. You can move it. If it's everything that is highlighted, then you're moving the whole thing. So you can adjust it, you can adjust this to fit the curvature. By double clicking on this. So perhaps I should mention that. So I don't know, something like that doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just going to leave it as that. It's not an essential part of the design anyway. It's just for decorations. We can now delete this image, and then you're going to save your work, of course, as DXF file, the AutoCAD drawing, so that you can convert it to a sketch. But unfortunately, we are out of time, so we're gonna have to split this into 2 parts, so I'll catch you in the next episode.